The rain poured relentlessly as Grace stood outside the towering glass headquarters of Sterling Group, clutching a small envelope close to her chest. Her tears mixed with the rain, but she barely noticed. Inside that envelope was her resignation letter. She had worked tirelessly as the personal assistant to billionaire CEO Ethan Sterling for 3 years. Everyone admired her professionalism, but no one knew the secret she had been hiding. Grace was 3 months pregnant. The father wasn't Ethan. It was her fiancé, Daniel, the man who had disappeared the moment she told him about the baby. Now Grace had morning sickness almost every day, and whispers had begun spreading around the office. One rumor became another until someone reported to Human Resources that she was too distracted to continue working. Instead of defending herself, Grace chose to resign quietly. She couldn't bear the humiliation anymore. As she walked into the lobby, employees stared. There she is. I heard she trapped some rich man. No wonder she's leaving. Grace lowered her head and continued walking. She reached the receptionist. I'd like to leave this for Mr. Sterling. The receptionist nodded. I'll make sure he receives it. Grace smiled weakly and walked away. She didn't know that Ethan Sterling had just returned from a 2-week business trip. Minutes later, Ethan entered the building. Tall, calm, and impossibly handsome, he rarely paid attention to office gossip. Anything important? He asked his secretary. Just one resignation letter. From who? Grace. Ethan stopped walking. Grace resigned. He took the envelope immediately. As he read the letter, something felt wrong. She thanked him for every opportunity, apologized if her recent health had affected her performance, and wished the company success. There wasn't a single complaint. Not one accusation. Only gratitude. That wasn't like someone leaving because of another job. Ethan called Human Resources. Why did my assistant resign? Silence. Finally, the HR manager admitted there had been complaints about Grace's pregnancy affecting her work. Ethan frowned. Did anyone investigate those complaints? No, sir. You accepted her resignation without speaking to me. Oh, yes. Ethan's voice became ice cold. Find Grace, now. Grace had already boarded a bus. She stared out the window, wondering how she would raise a child alone. Her savings would barely last 4 months. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She ignored it. It rang again. Finally, she answered. Grace. It was Ethan. Where are you? I'm on my way home. Stay where you are. There isn't any reason anymore, sir. There is. I said stay. 20 minutes later, a black luxury SUV stopped beside the bus. Passengers gasped as Ethan himself stepped out. He entered the bus. Every eye turned toward him. He walked straight to Grace. You forgot something. She looked confused. My resignation. No. You forgot that you're one of my employees. I resigned. I haven't accepted it. The passengers began whispering excitedly. Ethan extended his hand. Come with me. Grace hesitated, then slowly accepted. Back at Sterling Group, Ethan gathered every department manager. He reviewed security footage. He interviewed employees. Within hours, he discovered the truth. Several coworkers had deliberately spread false rumors because they wanted Grace's position. One employee had even forged complaints using fake email accounts. Ethan fired everyone involved. Word spread through the company instantly. No one had ever seen the billionaire CEO so angry. He then promoted Grace to executive operations manager. She couldn't believe it. I don't deserve this. You earned it years ago. She smiled through tears. Thank you. Weeks passed. Grace's pregnancy became more noticeable. Ethan often reminded her to eat. He made sure meetings weren't too long. He even instructed the cafeteria to prepare meals suitable for pregnant women. The office began whispering again. Only this time, they believed Grace was secretly dating the billionaire. Neither of them paid attention. One afternoon, Ethan asked gently, "Have you heard from the baby's father?" Grace looked down. "No. He doesn't know what he's losing." For the first time in months. Grace laughed. Then everything changed. Daniel returned. He arrived carrying flowers. "I'm sorry." Grace stared at him. "I panicked. I've changed. I want us to be a family." Before Grace could answer, Ethan walked into the lobby. Daniel immediately recognized him. "So you're the rich man everyone talks about." Ethan remained calm. "I'm her employer." Daniel laughed. "You expect me to believe that?" Grace finally spoke. "You left me." "I know. You blocked my number. I was scared. You abandoned your own child." Daniel reached for her hand. "I'll make things right." Grace stepped back. "No. I don't need promises anymore. I need peace." Security escorted Daniel outside. Months later, Grace gave birth to a healthy baby girl. She named her Hope. Ethan visited the hospital carrying a tiny teddy bear. The baby wrapped her tiny fingers around his. He smiled. "I think she likes me." Grace laughed. "She likes everyone." "No." The nurse interrupted. "Actually, she cried all morning. But she stopped the moment you held her." Grace watched quietly. Something inside her heart softened. Over the next year, Ethan became Hope's favorite person. He attended birthdays, bought children's books instead of expensive toys, read bedtime stories whenever work allowed. One evening, Hope looked at Ethan and asked, "Are you my daddy?" The room fell silent. Ethan looked at Grace. She smiled nervously. Before anyone could answer, Hope hugged Ethan tightly. "I want you to be." Tears filled Grace's eyes. Months later, under thousands of glowing lights in a beautiful garden, Ethan knelt on one knee. "Grace, you once believed you had lost everything. But the day you walked into my company, my life began changing too. I don't want to rescue you. I want to build a life with you. Will you marry me?" Grace cried openly. "Yes." The guests erupted into applause. Little Hope clapped the loudest. Sometimes, the greatest love story doesn't begin with a perfect romance. Sometimes, it begins with kindness shown to someone everyone else had already judged. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another unforgettable billionaire romance story. Tell us in the comments, do you think Grace made the right choice by giving Ethan a chance, or would you have done something differently? Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the greatest love arrives when you've stopped looking for it. See you in the next story.